Good afternoon, my peoples, and welcome back to the Counterattack. I hope you and yours are doing very well. Today, we're going to get into the Newcastle Takeover. They're the richest club in the world now, the pride of England. All that money up in the Northeast. Let's get into it. So, unless you've been living under a rock, a couple days ago, finally, the Sovereign Wealth Fund of the government of Saudi Arabia bought out the owner of Newcastle United, Mike Ashley, for around $400 million. A little over, I think that's a little over 350 million pounds. And that their wealth dwarfs almost every owner in the Premier League, every owner in any other European league. So they now legitimately are the richest club in the world. Sky's the limit for Newcastle. As many of you know, I'm an Arsenal supporter, always been an Arsenal supporter. So when I see another team getting a really rich owner like this, obviously it's going to cause me to bat my eye a little bit, cause me to look a little sideways. And so what does this mean? What does this really mean for the Premier League and for the sport in general? Premier League is obviously the preeminent football league, not only in Europe, but it's watched all around the world. So what does this mean for the sport? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it not really anything? I don't know. Let's talk about it. When Chelsea were taken over by Roman Abramovich, the team that suffered the most, in my opinion, was my team, Arsenal. There were another London club that now all of a sudden had the money to pay for extravagant transfer fees, extravagant wages. And that obviously took a toll on Arsenal. If you look at the success of Chelsea, it exploded after 2003, 2004. And that's sort of around the same time that Arsenal started their decline. The league changed, oil money came in, the wealth of states came in, and that changed the landscape completely. When City were taken over by their owners, the team that suffered the most was Manchester United. Obviously, another super club in Manchester. Now, they were competing not only for within England, they were competing within their own city. And they suffered. They've won one major trophy in the time that City have won 4, 5, 6. So with Newcastle, it's a little bit different. Newcastle is not Manchester, and it definitely isn't London. It's not even Birmingham. It is a little bit isolated in the north, and that's not to say that the people of the north deserve this or anything like that, or that Newcastle is a bad place to live. It's a huge hotbed, the Northeast, a huge football hotbed, and with a huge footballing culture. So I can understand why someone would want to invest in Newcastle United. But it's not going to be the same as Chelsea and City. Absolutely not. So who is this good for? Obviously, if you're a Newcastle United fan, this is fantastic for you. Newcastle United fans have suffered. They really have. They've gone through multiple relegations. They hated Mike Ashley, and now he's gone. His lack of investment is now gone. And ostensibly, what is going to change the most is the amount of investment, the bracket in which they shop in. That's going to change now. Is this good for the Premier League? Well, it's good for the money, the owners of the Premier League, and it's good for sort of the TV rights, because now there's going to be another super club in England. I do, however, think this is not going to be very good for the sport. When you have these super rich owners, when you have sovereign wealth, when you have the wealth of nations owning clubs and spending extravagant amounts on transfer fees, on wages, it drives everything up. And everyone who doesn't have a super owner backed by a ton of wealth, they're obviously going to suffer. I think what has to be brought in at this point, because I think we can all see where this is going. More really super rich owners are going to come in and they're going to buy up these clubs and they're going to drive up wages, which is going to lead to hyperinflation. So what needs to happen? Something akin to what's going on in Spain, as in a certain percentage of your turnover is how much you can spend on wages. Therefore, your success isn't totally dependent on a sugar daddy. It just isn't. You know, you're starting to see, now that the La Liga in Spain has implemented these rules, you're starting to see sort of a recalibration of finances by some of the huge clubs like Real Madrid and Barcelona in Spain. Now they're sort of locked into a more robust financial fair play structure. And that's what has to happen in the Premier League because we can all see where this is going. You know, another super rich owner is going to come in and is going to buy up one of the London clubs. Maybe Brentford, Palace. Maybe another rich owner is going to start investing in a Birmingham club like West Brom or Birmingham City. You already have a super rich owner trying to pump money into Everton up in Liverpool. Some type of financial structure has to come into place, or else the sport, it's just going to be the playthings of super rich people. Some rules have to come in. I'm sure everyone who was paying attention saw the Newcastle United fans and supporters outside of St. James's Park burning Mike Ashley in effigy and just generally reveling in their newfound spending ability. And that's great for them. So what's going to happen here? And from what I've been watching, what I've been seeing, listening to some people connected with the Newcastle takeover, it's probably going to be something akin to how Man City went about it. They couldn't automatically go out and buy, a top tier player like Kylian Mbappe or Erling Haaland or anyone like that. That's not going to happen. What happened at City is that they bought players that can propel them into the European spots and one or two superstars to begin with. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. Newcastle can't even buy players until the January transfer window. So that's what? 10, 12 matches until then? And Newcastle are sitting in, 19th place. So there's a real danger of them perhaps even going down this year. Maybe. But I do think that they are immediately in January going to start shopping in a totally new spending bracket. Maybe bringing in one marquee player. I mean, Harry Kane is available, and he doesn't want to stay at Tottenham. Other players are sort of out of contract. Salah is having contract issues with Liverpool. So there is a lot that they can do, but I do think starting in January, they're going to be buying the caliber of player that can get them into Europe. I think that is their immediate and first goal here. Winning the Premier League, like City, I think is 3, 4, 5, maybe even longer down the line. Some of the other long-term things that I think the Newcastle owners are going to start doing is invest, just like Man City. They're going to start investing in the area. The Northeast, like I said, hotbed of football. Newcastle United, while they may not be the most successful club, they are a big club in England, and they are a huge club in the Northeast of England. So I think the owners are going to come in. They're going to invest in the local area. They're going to invest in the academy. They're going to invest in the city and really sort of ingratiate themselves to the local fans, to the population. Because I think they have to look at this and they have to look at Mike Ashley's mistakes and not make those mistakes because these fans will turn on them very, very quickly. So what are the immediate consequences of this takeover? Everyone, all the Newcastle fans, they're yelping for joy. It's all great. I think the first thing that they're going to do is Steve Bruce is gone. He's not loved by the fans. The style of football that he plays, it's sort of turgid, sort of depressing. He's out the door. They want to go back to exciting football up in the Northeast. They want to be, they want to be excited. When they go to St. James's Park, 50,000 people, everyone together, they want to play the exciting football of the 90s and early 2000s. They want to go back to those times. Steve Bruce is gone. They're going to get someone in like Antonio Conte, someone that's going to play some type of football that makes them feel something. In the immediacy, I believe it's going to get harder for Newcastle to win games, which is why I think going down it's a possibility. It could happen. They could be the richest club in the championship. In January, they have to invest and they have to buy. If only this year to stay up, but definitely to lay the foundation for getting into Europe, maybe the year after or the year after that. That's what there has to be. That's what they have to prepare for in the January transfer window. So, my people, I'm going to leave you with my final thoughts on this Newcastle takeover. I am happy and excited for the people of the Northeast. It's always exciting when a rich sugar daddy owner comes in, say he's going to spend everything, do everything, make your wildest dreams come true. But let's call this what it is, my people. And I'm going to give you the truth. This is reputational laundering at its finest. All of these super rich owners and wealth backed by a government, and a lot of them happen to not be democracies. It is reputational laundering. They know that they're doing some untoward things when it comes to human rights, when it comes to rights for women. They know that they're doing some things that us in societies and in countries that are, ostensibly democracies where women have full rights, that kind of leaves a sour taste in the mouth. No one wants to have to go into a football match and have to think that your owners are murdering journalists or, tamping down the rights of women. No one wants to think that. No one wants to think that about their club, that their club is, the representation, the public representation of evil. No one wants to think that. But this is reputational laundering. That's what they want. A sovereign wealth fund and the people that run it, they don't have any special love for Newcastle United. They don't. This is business for them. They know that if their name, if their country, if their government, if their administration is attached to a successful footballing team, people will think good things about them in turn. That's what it is. And, we're all sort of operating glass houses here. I have purchased multiple Arsenal kits emblazoned with Fly Emirates on it, with the, Visit Rwanda on the sleeve, Adidas and Nike. We're all living in glass houses when it comes to this. No fan of any team whatsoever can point at the Newcastle United fans, can point at the City fans and say that, their team is any more good or evil than anyone else's. That's not how this works. It just isn't. But it is important to accept the reality. Don't ever piss in my pocket and tell me it's raining. And I'm going to tell you the truth, my people. This is unabashed, unadulterated, reputational laundering. And all of Newcastle's success going forward is attached to that, just like Man City and just like Chelsea. Thank you for sticking with me, my people. Again, I just want to thank everyone that subscribed and viewed the videos. I think we've surpassed 50 subscribers so far, and it just makes me feel so great. Thank you to everyone. Please slap that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.